zero gravity.
LoDo. I'm here hanging out tonight with CeasRock. Cease,
Yo.
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You guys may remember seeing CeasRock featured one of his singles and also his new EP, Zero Gravity. So why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself and let the fans know a little bit more about you.
Word. Well, what's up? I'm CeasRock, from Montreal. I make rap music. I think I'm pretty good at it. And you should check out my new project, Zero Gravity, and let me know what you think.
For sure. So this is part one of a two-part project that you're working on, right? So the part two is gonna be frequencies.
Yeah.
Nice little words.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, frequencies is basically when we started Zero Gravity, we kind of had a direction musically we were trying to pursue, and we had the same thing for frequencies in the sense where we didn't want to make one project with all of these songs. We felt like we had enough material to do two separate projects. And recently I actually just kind of revised the whole approach to frequencies where we wanted to do really digital at first. Now we're kind of opening up to some other sounds because to be honest, to the root of the project, which is a personal project for me, I have to explore some different types of sounds also, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to limit myself there. So when we were starting on Zero Gravity, we recorded X amount of songs, and we had a big chunk that didn't make the project, but not because they weren't good, just because they stood alone, you know? So that's how that two-part project kind of came about. But it's not necessarily going to be like, the concept is going to be continuous on a lot of levels, but not on every level, you know what I mean? I'm still exploring some new things, so it's going to be different.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely noticed throughout listening through Zero Gravity is you definitely presented yourself with some versatility. Your intro track, you come in a little more conscious, heavy lyrically.
Word.
Through some of the tracks you have a little fun, a little more party tracks.
Yeah.
Then you wrap up with real heavy, hard-hitting, conscious tracks.
Word.
And I know with part two, that was your goal, is to really kind of showcase and show off, the versatility.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult to be a versatile artist? A lot of times, especially within hip hop, I know some fans kind of like to pigeonhole artists, whether you're kind of either trap rap or you're party rap or you're a conscious rapper. So do you find it hard to kind of find that balance of incorporating more conscious lyrics and then also having a little fun?
Yes and no, in the sense where I think my fun lyrics are conscious lyrics. You know what I mean? Because songs like Money Over Everything have I know a lot of people didn't catch it necessarily, or some people didn't catch it, some people did, but it's sarcastic, and I'm trying to speak the language of the people. I'm not trying to, but at the same time, I'm not trying to make it too easy either, because then they can pigeonhole you. So I'm trying to stay floating and not have people figure out a box to put me in. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can't call me one type of rapper, because I consider myself an MC and somebody who grew up in Montreal and had a lot of different influences culturally. So I take what I want from where I want. I don't have to answer to one style, so to speak. So I find it difficult, but it's also what I'm choosing to be my brand. So you know what I mean? Like I'm using that. That's my thing. The whole versatility angle. I want to play that, and I want to do that, and I want to show people that, and I want to encourage it. It's funny. I was talking to somebody about acting and stuff, and I'm like, you have actors that get typecast. You know what I mean? Because they can't play any other roles, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like a Tony Soprano, you know what I mean? Is Tony Soprano in every role he does. For you know what I mean? So, but I don't feel like I'm that guy. I feel like I'm able to blend. So I'm not gonna limit myself. If I can be someone who can play multiple roles, I'd rather do that personally.
Absolutely. Now I think the Money Over Everything track was a great example of that, because to be honest, through first listen it kind of missed.
Money over truth, that real shit don't sound good. Can't sell that, put kids in jail, start pumping crack to your hood. Money over air, all I breathe is that high grade. How you feel about my ways? I don't care, slut, I'm paid.
Kind of had to run it through, and I was like, wait a minute. So I had to run it back, and I think it's that style of almost intentionally meant to miss, you know, the less, you know, the not quite above average listener might miss them, but the above average listener, you know, they're gonna recognize where you're coming from, and
I'd even go as far as disagreeing with you, because through this experience, first of all, when I was doing it, I wasn't sure what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I knew I was being sarcastic, but I didn't know if the song was supposed to be a joke, because when I started making it, I felt like that's what the beat needed, and that's what I was feeling, and it came from a very real place. You know what I mean? Like, money played a big role in that project. It came up a bunch of times. So I was thinking about stuff, and I was like, man, I just want to let loose and do it. And then I started doing it, and I was like, oh, this, you know, it'd be funny if. And I just started having fun writing the song, and then it became this other thing. Then I had a situation where we could have made a serious video, so I wasn't sure how people were going to react to it. I would have thought the same way you just described it, that the above average listener would catch it, and maybe, but the people who are the masses, quote unquote, that don't all the way listen necessarily, are the people who accepted the song for the music. You understand? They just enjoyed the vibe that was coming from it. Whereas the above average listener, who's the hip hop head, so to speak, you know what I mean? The oh, I know who's the nicest lyricist or whatever. They won't even accept it. It won't even make it past 4 bars with them, because they're so sure they understand what's happening already, just from the flow or from the way the beat drops, you know? So that's what shocked me or surprised me about the whole kind of, as a social experiment almost. It's like, those people are the one who are less receptive. And even taking it further than that, a lot of people will criticize it and be like, that's not real, you're not saying real stuff. And I'd be like, well, listen, some of the realest rappers out right now, like an Action Bronson or a Rock Marcy, who are like the staple, you know what I mean, the front runners for real hip hop right now or whatever, 90% of their raps are fictional. They don't get told that, you know, no one tells Action he can't do backflips out of a car and land in a splits. So why can't I rap about having money?
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, to be honest, you know, I consider myself a little more oriented towards some of the conscious lyrics, and, you know, I fancy myself a hip-hop head, and I've been guilty of it, of hearing a track at first glance and just completely dismissing it without really giving it a full listen and appreciate it for what it is. You know, an artist like Kendrick, who, you know, at first I kind of didn't appreciate what he was really doing, because all I heard was the chorus of Swimming Pools.
Right.
And, you know, it had the style, the approach. Didn't really take the time, because all I heard was the beat, the style on it, and kind of just judge the book by its cover. So, and I think with this new wave of, you know, artists that are trying to be more versatile and really appreciate having fun, playing off the beat, and just kind of going with the track for what it is. You know, I think that's a good move overall for hip hop, because that helps to branch. I mean, the, you know, below average listener, you know, that gives us common ground. I think we've become way too segmented in the hip hop world, where it's like everybody's in their own spot, and we've kind of lost that whole sense of community. So I think it's, you know, having artists like you with tracks like this is a good thing, because it branches, it creates that bridge for the two different aspects of the hip hop world.
Yeah, and because it's all hip hop, I'm not even a fan of separating rap and hip hop. I don't know, there's this whole thing, you know what I mean, this confusion that I'm like, nah, man, it's all hip hop. I'm older than you know, when I was younger, I'm 27 now, so when I was younger, it's like, nah, you know, like, these older heads, they need to call it quits, they're not in, you know what I mean, But like, the older heads would be like, nah, what are these young kids doing wearing skinny jeans? And I mean, there's certain things that I can't co-sign, you know what I mean, as who I am, but I encourage anybody to go out and be creative and push the boundaries of a style, you know what I mean? Like, it might be corny, but that's what we, you know, either you're encouraging people to express themselves and you live with what comes with that, or you're not. And I'd rather have a bunch of people that are garbage expressing themselves and being not good at it, than having a bunch of people sitting at home and being consumers, you know what I mean, or not creative or not opening doors or whatever. So I'm with it, man. I'm with hip hop one way or another, as long as it's quality, as long as you understand what you're doing and you do it well. Good for you.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you on that. I mean, when I was younger, what first drew me to hip hop is, You know, it was the brand for the Outcast. You know, it was making something out of nothing and kind of appreciating people for what they were. And I think, you know, hip hop's been going through some growing pains as it's, you know, it's middle age now. I think it's kind of finding its way back to really just learning to appreciate people for who they are. I mean, you see more artists from the extremes starting to collaborate more, and kind of have these cross collaborations.
And it's not always good. Don't get me wrong. It's not always good music, but it's collaboration. And you know what I mean? You gotta try. You gotta give things a shot. You gotta, you know, let things flow. And sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. Hip hop, we get to choose what we listen to, man. You don't like it, there's a million other people you could listen to. So
that's right. Just hit skip.
That's it. That's it.
So you're in the studio right now?
Yeah, we, you know, I'm sorry. I'm in the studio with my homie, streaming some football. It's my boy.
Nice.
Helped produce the album. He's actually the engineer that did the album. He's in here from France. We
from Montreal.
He's from Montreal though. Yeah.
All right.
He's from Montreal. He lives in Paris, and yeah, he's here. We had a show yesterday, for the launch, for the CD launch. So we just got the physical copies. Hold on. I'm holding up to the. We just got the physical copies of Zero Gravity, and we did a launch for that. I did a show. I'm gonna put up the footage. I'll make sure you guys get your hands on some of the footage from the show. And we're rapping. We want to do the rest of the project, or as much as the frequencies that we can, and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Can't stop. I'm in here the day after. Day after I launched the first CD, I'm trying to finish the next one. So can't call me lazy.
That's right. Always hard at work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, CeasRock, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us.
No doubt.
We'll be looking forward to seeing the release of Frequencies. Everybody, be sure to check back in at aToJ.com. We'll keep you updated with any new videos, as well as release dates and links to where you can find shows and projects from CeasRock.
Yep.
So, also, where can your fans find you online, social media?
You just gotta check out. Well, I'm CeasRock on everything. So CeasRock on Instagram, CeasRock on Twitter, CeasRock on Facebook. Good. What is it? What else is there out there that should be on? .com. You have the Bandcamp page. CeasRock.com is basically a landing page that sends you to YouTube, Bandcamp, SoundCloud. We're gonna have the iTunes links up everywhere, so you'll find me. I'm the only CeasRock. Google it. Google Plus. It's all there.
And everybody, you can find the links right below here, somewhere right below. We'll have all the links up. But we're looking forward to hearing Frequencies. Be sure to check back for all updates on CeasRock, and good luck with the album release.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Zero gravity. My eyes are closed, but I can see everything. Golden glow, I could be anything. Indigo, #144, try to show the road to all the kings and the queens.